I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success, let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in. I'm so excited for this conversation. I'm joined by Kathleen Adams from Second 50 Financial. I absolutely love this, the name of this company. Kathleen has started her latest business, Second 50 Financial, to help baby boomers and others over 50 preserve their wealth and achieve greater financial freedom than they ever thought possible. Kathleen, welcome to the program. I love to get to know the person behind the microphone. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. I've been in this business for, it's been about 23 years now. And prior to that, I had a degree in biological sciences. So I have kind of a career change in my life. But I just wanted to say that I was inspired to do what I'm doing right now by my dad. And it was his story that sort of got me into doing what I'm doing. And I love planning and working with people in their second 50 years.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about it. Why are things unique for those in that category that we call baby boomers? Why is it necessary to have a firm dedicated to serving that population?
You know, the mindsets of people once they turn 50 and get into their 50s, 60s, 70s shifts dramatically. And we started noticing it because a lot of our clients were aging, and then a lot of clients that we were attracting were in the second 50 group. And it's basically the very successful people start to recognize that, you know, what they did to be successful before 50 doesn't feel the same after 50. And it's mostly because you notice that at a certain point, your business income is going to stop, or as one of my clients says, your fresh money is going to stop. And so once you have this wealth that you've been accumulating and you have to start using it, it's a very, very different feeling. And we believe that you really have to think, plan, and invest differently during this time to really feel financially confident and enjoy it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So, Kathleen, you have worked with so many people, and again, I know that this is not your first rodeo. This is your latest venture, and I'm curious if you could tell us, obviously without naming any names, but tell us some of the stories of the people that inspire you and why you're so passionate about what you do, and how you've been able to help people.
Well, I belong to a really big thinking coaching community. So we spend 4 days every year really thinking about our thinking and what we want to do. And I've done a lot of reading and researching on the boomer age group. And it's actually the largest, wealthiest, most highly educated group to ever move into this time of life. And, you know, there's a wonderful book called The Longevity Economy. That's kind of what got me started a few years ago. But this group has been changing the world and impacting the world their entire lives. And so moving into the second 50 opens the door for them to do a lot more than many other people have ever done before, their parents or their grandparents. So I was very inspired by books and also by my coaching community to go ahead and see what I could do to help the boomers have the most amazing second 50, and at the same time impact and continue impacting and improving the world. And I fully believe that they can.
Wow. So, and hence the name Second 50 Financial. I know that your tagline is confidence, opportunity, and vitality, which is important. So if I understand correctly, you are an independent, you are a true fiduciary. Why should that matter to our listeners?
Well, I believe it matters because you're always hearing it. You want to be working with someone you're working totally for them and in their best interest. And to be honest, I think there's a lot of fantastic planners and advisors out there that are not working as independently as I am, but they are definitely working in the best interest of people. So I think it is important to be independent if you want to offer all the different types of services and products that are out there. But as far as doing what's in their best interest, I think a lot of us do that. In our case, we decided that we needed to really shift how we were going to help people get the income they needed to support the lifestyle they wanted, and we couldn't go the traditional route. We have to look to the future. We're not going to be like we were the last 10 years. And so to get into the non-traditional things and the types of planning and products and investments, we had to go completely independent.
Wow, fascinating. Okay, great. So definitely for all those in, as you say, your second 50 years and are looking to wisely use the wealth you've built and earned, definitely you want to chat with our good friend Kathleen Adams over here. And you mentioned a moment ago, which I appreciate you talking about, is that, definitely that fiduciary piece matters, but your experience matters as well. Kathleen, I think something unique that you bring to the table is that you're not just talking the talk, you're actually walking the walk. Tell us why your past experience and what you can share from your past experience. What does that mean and in terms of how you relate to that second 50?
Right. And I'll just say that second 50 is named second 50 because I firmly believe that the majority, not the majority, but maybe many, many people will live more than a second 50 years. So I think we are at a place in the world and in time where we're going to be able to live a lot longer, and we need to pay attention to that in the financial planning community and just in our lives in general. But as far as my experience, I will say that it was my experience with my dad that really inspired me to get going with the second 50 group. He was an extremely successful dentist in the Chicago area, and he when it was time for him to get out, it was an unexpected health event, and he wasn't set up properly, and I was pretty stunned. I wasn't in financial planning at the time. He thought he'd done everything right, built wealth, had no debt, took care of his family beautifully. We never wanted for anything. So that kind of drove me crazy, and I went back to school and learned that the majority of people at the time were not getting any kind of overview, big picture planning to help them have the life they wanted once they stopped working. And especially if you were successful, if you're enjoying a really great lifestyle and you had a private business, or you're an entrepreneur, professional practice, you really have to pay attention and do some prep work with that, because that was my biggest experience with it. I'm also in that age group now too. I'm right in there, so I'm having to walk the talk too.
Okay, that's very important. So we're having this conversation at the end of 2022. We're moving into a new calendar year. And I think that's important. There's new laws, there's new regulations, new rules. And I'm curious, what do our listeners need to know as we move into the new year? What New Year's resolutions should they be thinking about making? What can they do to set themselves up for success in the new year in terms of financial responsibility?
So I would say, look ahead to thinking about the future. So if you're in the second 50 age group, try to focus on the future as an amazing part of your life. Don't get scared off by things that are going on right now. And really, there's so much about the economy and the politics in the world that we can't control. So let's focus on our personal economy and our personal community. I absolutely love having communities and staying connected. Your personal economy is what you're spending, how you're using your wealth, setting yourself up correctly. All of those things matter, and you have control of that. So, and I would also say it's going to be very difficult to go this alone. We're at a very complex time. The world is volatile. COVID forced a massive reset on most of what we're doing. So, I would say try to either find a community or an advisor that you trust and work together. It's always better together. And if I could just add one more thing quickly, in our world of planning, we do financial confidence has to come first, but then consider opportunity expansion. Don't ever let go of what you might want to do because of your age. Really consider opportunity expansion. And then the last is vitality. take advantage of some fantastic new health and medical breakthroughs. It's something that we try to bring resources to, and you have to write a check, so you have to plan.
Okay, well, Kathleen, we're running out of time, and I want to make sure our listeners know where they can get a hold of you and your team over at Second 50 Financial. How can we get in contact?
Just our website would be fine, or LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Can you share that information?
Sure, www.second50financial.com. And then LinkedIn is just my name, Kathleen A. Adams, Second 50.
Fantastic. Kathleen Adams, Second 50 Financial. We really appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to get in touch with you, especially as we move into the new year. I'm sure we'll want to have you back on real soon. But thank you so much for sharing your expertise with our listeners. I'm going to squeeze in a quick break here on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. All of our guests are linked on my website, shalomklein.com. So make sure you visit and don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.